Good evening, Fish Nation, Fish YouTube channel subscribers, nearly 40,000 of you now. IndyCar Tim here with a follow-up to our ham for lunch video that we posted earlier today. We hope you got a chance to check that out. If not, go check it out because this will be a continuation of that video. We talked a little bit about why the Cowboys are so good this year, what's changed from last year, other than the obvious, of course, with the injury to Dak, and clearly now he's playing much better. We talked about Dak Prescott a lot in the first video at lunchtime today, and also about the defense and their takeaways and why they've been so good. Wanted to talk about a couple of more points here, specifically the run game. The run game, of course, Zeke is back. Clearly Zeke is back. A lot of the discussion in the offseason was going to be, what will Zeke look like in 2021? Will it be 2020 disappointing Zeke? Will it be 2017, 2018 Zeke? Clearly, Zeke fixed whatever was wrong with him in the offseason. We know the offseason reports from Dak and from some of his teammates indicated he had worked really hard. He looked better than he'd looked since his rookie season. Zeke says he's in the best physical shape of his life since high school, college. And I think it shows. I think it shows on the field with his play. I don't think it hurts too much either that he's got Tony Pollard on his coattails there. And, you know, clearly Zeke is the #1 guy, and Zeke should be the #1 guy. But Tony Pollard's right there with him. If you look at the stats, it's amazing. These guys may be the best 1-2 punch in the NFL, really, of any offensive backfield that any team's got. They're averaging 164.3 rushing yards per game. That's second. And it's clear that Ezekiel Elliott is the #1, because when Tony Pollard came into the league, 2 years ago, the Cowboys split up the offense. 80% offensive snaps Zeke, 20% Pollard. Last season, or I'm sorry, 2 years ago, it was last season. Last season, in Pollard's second year, it was 70% Zeke and 30% Pollard. And we said coming into this season in the offseason that the Cowboys really, regardless of how Zeke performed, the Cowboys needed to keep that trend going, and it needed to be a 60 to 65% Zeke and a 40 to 35% Pollard. And the Cowboys are right on schedule with that, the way they've varied up the offense. And, you know, Zeke, well, he's even admitted at this point that he's not 22 anymore and that he needs the rest. He needs the plays off to keep his body fresh, to keep his mind fresh, to, you know, just to keep him healthy longer. And that's really what we're looking for. We don't know what the Cowboys' plans are for Zeke beyond this season, beyond next season. They do have an out, technically, in his new contract, the extension that he signed a couple of years ago, where they can get out from under him, I believe, for just a $6 million cap hit if they want. But if he's playing like he's playing this year, if he continues that throughout the season, there's no reason for them to let him go. And they should just continue the 1-2 punch they've got with the running game. How can the running game be better than it is now? Well, Zeke's averaging 5.1 yards per carry on 17 average touches per game. Tony Pollard's got an average of 6 yards per carry on just over 10 carries per game. And it's real hard to find any improvement in that. But they've got to vary their game plans up a little bit, keep the defenses on their heels. I just say that I would say that Pollard could probably be a little bit better of a blocker. But again, we're sort of nitpicking here because I don't know that there's much improvement for the running game, to be quite honest with you. The offensive line's performing very, very admirably. Another point that I think the reason why the Cowboys are so much better this year, look at the offseason moves. We know they invested heavily in the offseason and with their acquisitions. 8 of their 11 draft picks they spent on the defensive side of the ball. They brought in a slew of free agents, as my dogs are wanting to be on video here. You'll have to excuse them. They've got big egos. They need to be stroked too sometimes. But we know that the free agent class that the Cowboys had in 2020 was ridiculous. It was miserable. It was so underwhelming. You look at, they brought in Clinton-Dix, who was supposed to be one of the bright stars to help out the secondary on this team. He didn't make it out of training camp. Gerald McCoy was brought in, supposed to shore up the defensive line. He didn't make it out of training camp. Dontari Poe didn't make, I mean, he was gone. All these guys were gone before November. All right, so when you look at the meaningful contributions that we've gotten from 2021 acquisitions like linebacker Keanu Neal, Brent Urban, Carlos Watkins, DeMonte Casey, Jaron Kearse, and Malik Hooker, all these guys were off-season acquisitions. Hooker in season, but you get my point here. All these guys have panned out, whereas last year none of the guys panned out. So I think that's a big reason why the Cowboys are being successful this season, and it's stuff that we expected last season to see. We thought all those guys would contribute, and it wasn't even close. So lots of reasons why the Cowboys are better. There's just a couple more for you, with the off-season acquisitions actually panning out and being worthwhile, and of course the running game being what it is so far in the season. Appreciate you guys on the Fish Report, on the Fish Report YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe. Hit that like button on all the videos if you like it. You're watching it, you might as well hit the like button. If you are not a subscriber, please subscribe so you get notification of all these new cool videos that we're popping on here multiple times per day. From college football to fantasy football to NFL, Cowboys, of course, and the Mavericks and the NBA over on the other playlist. They're all organized by the playlist, so just hit that playlist button and take your pick there. But follow me on Twitter, @IndyCarTim. I appreciate all the new followers. I appreciate the warm welcome you guys are giving us here on the Fish Report YouTube channel. We'll do it all again tomorrow. We'll do Ham for Lunch once again with some Cowboys news, some injury updates, and what we might expect going into Sunday night's matchup against the Minnesota Vikings up there in Minnesota. Until tomorrow, I'm IndyCar Tim. We'll see you.